was gonna start singing with it, but I was like, it's not really gonna be that type of episode. It's gonna be like just talking about it while probably mixing in a little bit of YouTube shit too. But definitely putting the countdown click as the intro. If there's a remix to the countdown click, I'd love it.
Just a click, man. There's no remix.
There's definitely a remix to it, and I'm gonna prove you wrong.
It is less than a metronome.
There's definitely gonna be a remix to it, and I'm gonna put it in the podcast. But speaking of the podcast, welcome back to Freckles and the Fro. I am the Freckles.
I'm the Fro.
And it's been a couple of hours, you know. I was gonna say a few days. It has not been a few days. But what are we talking about?
So I just had some time to catch up on my YouTube feed. And I realized that Mark Fishbach, Markiplier, and Ethan, don't know his last name, but he's Crank Gameplays. They both posted videos on their respective pages, kind of honoring, I guess, and reflecting on the past year, because we are now 1 year removed from a ridiculous project that the two of them worked on called Unus Annus. And I mean, I think almost everybody knows, oh, not everybody, but a significant chunk of you people out there know what Unus Annus was, but for those of you that don't, pretty much these two guys decided, what if we made a channel where we uploaded a video every single day, like fully edited, fully something, and then at the end of 365 days, completely deleted the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. The crazy sons of bitches did it.
I actually, when I first heard about it, I didn't take the channel very serious, because I was just like, oh, they're not going to really do it. It's just going to be a video where it's just going to be a channel where they do goofy ass shit, and they're just going to keep it up for the views.
Yeah.
Steven actually told me about it, and he was just like, yeah, you know, Mark and Ethan are doing this show called Unus Annus, explained exactly how he explained it to everybody. And I'm just like, it's probably really corny shit. And I forgot what episode you told me to watch.
It was something. They were definitely eating something.
It was one
something
of them.
to do with food.
So I watched it, and I was like, this episode video is pretty funny. So I go and I watch another episode. I'm like, damn, this is really funny.
Yeah, like, it was actually funny stuff.
I was like, damn, this is really funny. Because they're not being monetized. Like, even if they were being monetized, they didn't give a shit. Or if
they were.
They were. Yeah, like, literally, like, one of my favorite episodes is them cooking with sex toys. Like, that shit is so funny.
Yeah.
And, like, cooking with sex toys. And the other one is, any episode with his mom in it was always fucking gold.
Quality.
Like, I think it was when they put on the birth control, like, not birth control, the simulation for giving birth, and his mother comes on the phone, and she's like, you ever thought of how pushing a watermelon out of your butthole would feel? That's how it feels like giving birth. Yo, she's so funny. Oh man, she's always so funny. She was the best. And what was another one? The green screen challenges were always my favorite.
Yeah, they were good.
The green and I didn't notice it till after. Like, I have a friend, he told me about it. Do you know Mark is technically a what are they called? A scythe? Not a scythe. Oh my goodness, we were just talking about them, like urban legends, like the Wendigo and the Jersey Devil. Cryptid, yes. Mark is technically a cryptid. Well, not Mark specifically, but Honest is technically a cryptid.
Yes, there was a whole, like, series. I think they did like 3 or 4 episodes about that.
Like, Mark is technically Honest is technically a cryptid, and I think that's the funniest shit I've ever heard to come out of anything. did you watch the channel being deleted?
The live stream? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, me too.
I watched the entire thing.
Me too. I watched the entire thing.
I had nothing better to do, so I watched it.
Like, and it was really weird because I'm just like, I can't believe this is, because like I said in the beginning, I didn't take it seriously, and I ended up like falling in love with the channel because of how.
I mean, you didn't start watching till like
halfway.
Yeah, like we were already in like the lower hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we were at like one something by the time you clicked. By the time I showed it to you. So like you had an entire catch-up portion before that.
Yeah, and it's because I literally like got to catch up for like, what was it, 200 days of just catching up, and it was
something like that. Yeah.
It was so much fun. I'm like, man, I really wish I watched it sooner. And it sucks because I would watch some episodes repeatedly because of how funny they were. Like I would wake up in the morning, I would get ready for work, I would throw on Unus Annus, and I would just laugh, like, before work. And, or during work, I would just binge watch a bunch of the episodes, and then day comes where it's like, yeah, this is, like, the last hour. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna bang through it and watch all the stuff, like, the videos I really loved, because I wanted to take this serious, like, when they were like, all content is going to be deleted, all these channels who are compilations and all this bullshit should be gone after this. And to respect the channel, I'm not going to look for it because I want to live, I want to respect what they were making, and it should be remembered by memories. So
yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think everything is gone.
No.
Like, I said for the most part.
Oh, most part.
I still see every now and then like an animated or something, but like it's like once that, like, I guess a year ago, like I haven't seen anything big.
So I have I think animation's fine because animation is basically off of a memory. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine because that's just like basing it off what you thought it looked like or what you imagined it would look like.
Right.
So I think animations are okay. But like physical snippets of those old videos.
If you downloaded the video and you're reposting it, you're a dickhead.
You're a dickhead. I want you to, this is the official statement from Freckles in the Fro. If you reposted any Unus Annus, you're a dickhead.
Actually, I'm sorry. I see shit very frequently now that I'm thinking about it.
Very frequently, and I get so
on
so
TikTok.
Pissed. Yep, on me too. It's on TikTok. I get so pissed.
On TikTok, one of the most used sounds is I don't remember what episode it's from, but it's Ethan.
This is the disclaimer song?
No, I wish that got used more though. No, it's
Don't die.
Him doing the Eminem mom's getting nervous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I easily see it at least like 2 or 3 times a day, but like I'm just like, I know Ethan, like not that I know him personally, but like
we wish.
I know that I would love to hang out with him. But like I know, like, it's so ingrained in my head that like, no, that wasn't Unus Annus, that's just Ethan and Mark hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I forget, and then like just now, like I had that moment of like, oh no, wait, that's from Unus Annus.
Mm-hmm. Like
this whole fucking thing.
Like, I would be okay with it on TikTok if it was just no. I'm still not okay with it because I was like, oh, it's just the audio. I'm like, no. That means if somebody got the audio, somebody has the video. So somebody saved the video to save the audio. So I'm like, well, nah.
Not necessarily.
Nah.
Because that audio was made while the channel was still live.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
I mean, yes, it should be gone.
Should be
much
gone.
Like everything else on the channel. Like, everything else was deleted. But then you also got to think, like, there's a ton of people who use that audio who have no fucking idea what Unus Annus is.
That's also very true, and that's not their fault. They just think it's funny.
Right. They just like is nervous. Yeah, I don't know. Like I get it. Like I get the whole concept and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, try something new every day for a year and then, just delete your art.
And
Like that's something that I am like a firm believer in. Like that's why I don't take a lot of pictures. Like when I'm out doing things, it's like I don't need to take a minute and pose pictures and do all this stuff. Like it's in my head. I got this. Like that kind of thing.
and I 100% I'm 100% that guy too. Like I really believe in living in the moment and enjoying the moment. And sometimes though it gets really like I'm on this fence right now where it's like I love to live in the moment and I want to be in this moment because I want to remember it forever. But what if your memory starts to go? Like those memories are gone now. You don't have pictures because you were that guy who lived in the moment. So I get why people keep the videos and keep the content because they want to remember it. I'm going into like the idea of why lately I've been thinking about it. I had a conversation with my coworker, shout out to Matt. As much as I love living in the moment, I get nervous because what if my memory goes and I don't have anything to remember those moments? So I get why some people do it because they want to have those physical memories. But I'm more of that person that needs to be in the moment, to grasp it, to feel it, to love every second of it. So
right, I don't want to worry about I didn't, like yes, every concert we go to, I get a T-shirt to remind me of that concert,
and
or
you
I get something.
You get physical memorabilia. Like physical memorabilia is beautiful.
But like,
I'm so for that.
No, but it's like every time I go somewhere with friends, my mom says like, "Oh, take a picture," or, send me a picture, what's going on. And it's like, no, I mean, it's also because usually, like, a lot of the stuff we're doing, I don't want to be documented.
True.
Because it's dumb. I'll admit it. It's really fucking dumb. But at the same time, I'm like, no, like, let me and my friends enjoy ourselves. Like, if they want to take a picture, like, yeah, I'll agree to it. Like, but for me personally, I don't need that. Like, I'd rather it, like kind of like a sensory memory thing where it's like, you smell this one thing and it triggers this emotional feeling and connection in your brain, and it makes you think of this other time. Like I actually had it the other day. So I listen to all my music stuff is on YouTube when I'm listening. So like we were driving somewhere for work, and the song Wild Wild West came on by Will Smith.
Very good. Very classic.
Right. I haven't heard that song probably since the movie came out. But I had such like visceral's not the word, but like such a physical reaction to this song that I hadn't heard in probably 15 years, and it took me back to when the movie came out and like, trying to collect the toys at McDonald's and all this, like everything about this movie. That's what I like. That's my thing. Like I don't want to be like, oh well, I'm getting old, let me look through a scrapbook of things. It's like, no, I want it to happen randomly. And I'm going down a rabbit hole of music, and that one track triggers me.
Yeah, that's what I like too. I could say that I agree with that. Yeah. Going through a playlist or going through... I love that triggering smell. Like, that's a really big thing I really love. Yeah. I think that's what I really liked about Unus Annus. Yeah. And when I heard the videos that Mark and Ethan did, I got really emotional because they're, like, talking in front of this, like, casket.
Yeah, casket that they got.
The casket. And I'm like, I wonder if that casket's actually in that spot. I doubt it. They probably can't keep it there due to, fans finding it and
Right.
possibly stealing
Yeah, no,
it, you know.
they brought it out for the day and put it there and made it pretty, and then they picked it up at the end of the day and brought it back home wherever they're
Mhm.
keeping it. Yeah, my thing for me is always music. Like,
Mhm.
music is my trigger. If I listen to a song that I haven't listened to in years, the second I hear it, I'm right back in that moment.
Mhm.
You know, every time I listen to like Patent Pending song,
Oh boy, I agree with that.
I'm
Heavy.
I'm I'm back at that first concert where I first learned about them. Like
Mhm.
all that, like, and like even like Headspace, like, you know, I'm not a 29-year-old dude in that moment. I'm 17 in high school, getting ready for something to do. Like,
Mhm.
I'm getting ready to go out with my friends, or I'm getting ready to go to the concert. Like, I'm in that moment,
Mhm.
and like that's it for me.
Memories are, I think, is really sensitive for how they consume it or what they do to consume it. But I thought it was just really sad, like especially Ethan's. I felt really connected to, because
Yeah.
he was just like, I think this is the best thing that I've ever made, and it's going to be the only best thing I've ever made, and he was okay with
Right.
that. And that broke
Yeah.
my heart because I think Ethan's a really great content creator,
Oh, hell yeah.
like
Yeah.
Unus Annus is like the top because he got to be, because he said he's like, I think with Mark and him, they basically said the same thing. Like, they loved making those videos. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they were just so random and out of the box. They could literally do anything they wanted because it didn't matter.
mm-hmm,
To them it didn't matter, but to us, the fans, you know, it meant something. It was, I I don't know how to put it. It meant something to us.
mm-hmm,
You
and
know, waking up every day and, you know, okay, there's another episode. I gotta watch it. I gotta see where it's going. Like, I mean, the entire time, like from episode 1 to episode 365 through the live stream, there was a story going on
oh yeah, absolutely.
that like a lot of people didn't pick up on until 100 plus episodes in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, but like you watch back episode 1. I mean, not that you can, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere, but
Don't do it.
don't do it. Like, leave it. If you weren't part of it, like, just ignore it. Like, whatever. But like, if you could go back and watch episode 1, you would see this story, these seeds being planted for what became the underlying storyline.
Mm-hmm. And it was just and yeah, because like you knew, like there were like little segments and snippets, whether it was in the beginning, the ending, or the middle of the episode, saying like, hey, end's almost near. Like, the end's almost near, and enjoy every second of these, enjoy every minute of these.
Well, there
Or
was that, and then on top of that,
mm-hmm,
you had the countdown clock at the
mm-hmm,
beginning and end of every single episode that literally counted in real time, like from whatever time they put it. Like, it counted from when they posted, when the video went live. No, November 14th, a year ago. No, 2 years ago, because we've
mm-hmm,
been a year out already. So November 14th, 2019, they posted, and it said 365 00000, whatever, however many zeros it is. And then at the end of that video, it was 364 and, you know, whatever minus 15 minutes or however long the video was.
mm-hmm.
And every episode had that, and like it counted in real time, and it gave you this, like, you know, every day you would look at it and be like, oh, okay, there's still 365. Okay, there's still 364. And then when that first number was like, oh no, we're in like days left.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
A week.
we're, you know, we're single digit days. Like, it got to a point where it's like, oh no, wait, this is real. This, like, and it, like we were talking about earlier, it's like, are they really gonna do it? Like, they just put a year's worth of work into this? Like, are they really gonna just get rid of it all? And it like I still get like emotional about it.
Yeah, like it's still a real feeling, so that's why
Yeah.
when it happened, I got really emotional. Like I got
Yeah.
really sad and I cried when
Oh, I
the
did.
when it ended. Like
Yeah.
straight up cried.
Oh yeah, no, watching the live stream, I was tearing up the whole time, and then they did the whole tattoo thing, and I was just like, no, this is real. And then it's like, okay, here's the countdown, 3, 2, 1, and that was it. The live stream was over. Like,
And the thing that got me the most, like another thing I really wish that I did and I didn't do was buy the merch. Like, because we were just talking about it, like big things that happen to us.
yeah,
We get shirts. We get shirts for those moments. Like when I go to a
yeah,
concert, I always get a T-shirt. When
yeah,
when I go out to a store or a location I really love or a restaurant, I try to get a
right,
shirt. This was
right,
because
yeah.
I didn't take it I didn't take Unus Annus
I didn't
serious
know.
until
I
it was
mean,
too late. Until it was too
yeah,
late.
I mean, I have a Memento Mori shirt that I made because I make
Mm,
shirts.
mhm.
Like, and I see a shirt and I'm like, oh, that's a cool design. Let me see what I can do with that. And like, I make one. So I have a Memento Mori shirt, but it's not an Unus Annus Memento Mori shirt.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like,
It's not official.
yes, it's the same thing, but like, is that? And then the other thing I want to get, which they did for one of the episodes, they were talking about them, and then they did it on live stream, was the tattoo. I
Mhm.
want I want a Memento Mori tattoo.
Like I like that one too. Like that's another thing like I really wanted to get was a Memento Mori tattoo.
Yeah, because
Um
like that's like that that's how like, I know in the last episode, I talked about like money's no object, but like Memento Mori is how I live my life.
mhm.
Remember, you must die. Like you can't take it with you. You can't you're gonna die at some point. Although I also live where it's I am immortal until proven mortal.
Mhm.
So kind of conflicting ideologies there, but like for me it works. Like I understand both have their time and limit, but like the Memento Mori is a thing that really sticks with me all the time. So I think that'll be my tattoo.
I could dig it.
Yeah.
And it's it's definitely something that I'd be really interested in doing too. Like I really want to just get the Memento Mori or just get the sand dial.
The hourglass,
The
yeah.
hourglass, yeah, like one of those I definitely want to get. Um so I'm very excited to get those tattoos cuz I do want to get more tattoos in the future, but I never
Yeah.
realized like these and I'm really glad that they went through with it because it did like with Mark said in his video, it really did affect a lot of people. Like
Oh yeah, no. I
you
mean,
could you could die next year, you could die tomorrow. So if
bro,
you
you could
don't
die in 10 minutes from now. You could
I
die
could
today.
today.
Yeah, like there's so much that people don't do because they think like the stigmas of the world around us, and how are they going to be judged, where it's like fuck it, man, just do it.
Mhm.
Like again, that's how I live. Like, yes, are there consequences to my actions? Yes. Do I
Mhm.
know that there are consequences? Also yes. Do
Mhm.
I care? No, I will burn that bridge when I get to it.
Mhm.
like you can't, like, I mean, a lot of our world is like people pleasing,
Mhm.
but you cannot please everybody. You have to please number one, which is yourself. Like
Yes.
you should always be your number one, not your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call them, your family, friends. Like, no, number one always comes first, and then you worry about other people. You do what's right for you. And like and that's what the channel was about. It was doing what was right for them. You know? Like at
Mhm.
least that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, and that's why I said like I really like the fact that they didn't give a shit that they were being monetized. Like they just made what was fun, what was exciting. And there are some
Right.
things that I wish they were able to do because they were like, due to the pandemic happening right in the
Oh,
middle
I
of it.
mean,
There was
yeah.
YouTube prom. Like I would have loved to have seen YouTube prom, which was
Right.
just a bunch of random YouTubers, small and large, meeting up with each other. Like it would have been
Right.
nice to
Oh, it would have been incredible to see that stuff, but
and
you know,
that's the beauty of the channel. Like there's some missed opportunities, and that's gonna
right.
happen too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they figured it out. And I mean, that's everything. That is
that's
it.
that's life.
It's it's figuring it out. Like they went through, they did what they had to do to get the channel, and they just kept going with it.
and and that's it. Yeah, you just roll with the punches. But like you said, you gotta don't forget that you gotta do what's best for you. You gotta do
Yeah.
what makes you happy. And I think that I'm still working on that as a person. That
Mhm.
I'm trying to push myself out of that funk and out of that mind state. And that just takes time, but Unus Annus was
Yeah.
definitely the
I mean,
the the first domino.
yeah. It helped a lot of people. I mean, I, the main thing is like, you know, I don't even know how to word this. Like, I mean, I guess because I've been doing it so long. Like, I mean, I'm like the first step is to figure out yourself, because you can't make yourself happy unless you know yourself. You know, like, and I think that's where a lot of people's downfall is. Like, they think they know themselves, and then some shit happens, and they're like, "What the fuck do I
Oof,
even do?"
I'm like, oof, I don't know myself.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, what the fuck do I even do? And it's like, no, you should know what you're gonna do.
mhm.
You know, you watch a movie, you know exactly what that character's gonna do. You know, like halfway through a movie, you know exactly what their decision's gonna be because you know their character.
Mhm.
Well, you're just another character in the story. The story's just about you. So, you figure it out and you go from there.
Mhm.
But, that's step one. And then you worry about, you know, not necessarily how your actions are going to affect other people, because sometimes it just doesn't matter. But, you weigh the option a little bit,
Mhm.
and then you still make your decision. I've kicked rocks and they've broken shit, and then I'm like, well, fuck it. I made the decision to kick the rock. You know,
Mhm. But it was
I've
you. But it was you
right,
who made that decision.
exactly. It wasn't somebody told me to, or like I did it on accident. It was like, no, I actively chose to do this thing.
Mhm.
I've listen, you you might lose people along the way. It's entirely possible. But if you know, what is it? If you love something, let it go. If it returns to you, that it is yours to keep.
Mhm.
Something like that. Something like that. It's, some Shakespeare, Robert Frost bullshit, whatever. But like that's 100% true.
Mhm.
I've let so many people go, and a handful have come back. They're the ones that I keep. It's all about choices and this or that, and you just make it work. And that's what they did with the channel. They made it work. Like we said, they had all these big plans for YouTube prom and all this other stuff, and then pandemic hit, and They were like, fuck it, we gotta change everything.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it work.
Absolutely. And
mm-hmm.
No, you were saying?
No, I lost it.
But no, and that's the thing. It's like you're gonna lose people along the way. But were they really there for you, or were they there for something else?
Yeah.
If they're not happy with who you become, and real people who are really good friends are okay with who you become, like,
right.
and are willing to accept who you're becoming,
yes.
and that's what, and who you end up being in the end.
Right.
So, because we're all, as much, like, little things about us are definitely going to stay, but eventually big things are going to start coming. And I have a friend who's been telling me, like, you know, like, honestly, before, I've been questioned recently, a lot of questioning, and I have to literally sit down and be like, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever had this thought before. So they will question me constantly, like, why? And I'm like, I've never thought that. Like, because normally I'm picking up either from someone else, or I'm picking an answer that's pleasing. But
right, and you can't really do that. Like,
no.
Like, yes, as a society, you know, we want to hear what we want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no, you got to be honest with people and tell them the truth, because otherwise, like, you know, it may come back to bite you. Like, yes, like, if you tell them the truth, there's probably going to be a little backlash from it in the moment. But in the long run, it is most of the time better.
Mm-hmm. And it's truer to you, and that's honestly all that matters.
You know, you don't have that weight on you of, oh well, you know, I just lied to my best friend about something stupid like her hair looked good today. It's like, no, tell that bitch she looks like shit and go fix it.
And it's also because I've had some really bad experiences with doing that with people. So I used to have a roommate. And I used to tell my roommate, I'm going to be honest with you because I'd rather you hear it from me than hear it from a stranger. Right. And I was like, because I do it out of love, I'm not doing it out of hate. Right. So when I told her about herself, and I was like, hey man, yeah, I don't like the way that looks. I think you might want to go ahead and go back and change it. It's like, it's either, you know, it's too loose, it's too whatever. And she got
it's not flattering.
It's not flattering. So, and she was just like, that's really rude of you. I'm like, all right then. I was like, I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm just trying to be, you know, I'm just trying to be honest. She's like, you're being a real asshole. I don't know who you've become. I'm like, what? I told you, I was like, I'm going to start telling you things because I care, not because I'm trying to be an asshole. Like,
right.
I'm like, I don't get it. But that's where a lot of the fear also comes from. Like, the fear of, like, losing people because you don't want to hurt their feelings. So that's where a lot of it stems from, being that people person. Like, long story short, it's just being a people person. Yeah. Or a people pleaser.
Which, again, in the past, you know, 20, 30 years ago, yeah, that totally worked. But in the world we live in now, with social media and instant access to both gratification and answers to literally any question on the face of the planet, like, if you say one thing wrong, you will hear about it back in 5 seconds.
Oh, less than that, probably.
You know, it's... I mean, hell, even here on our podcast, like, we say wrong shit all the time, but we always preface it with, like, look, this may be wrong, let us know, you know, because we want to have the correct information.
And I think that's also,
like, as long as we're honest, you know, it can definitely hurt us, that's a thing, but, like, we at least feel good about it.
And I've done it before.
You know,
I think
it's not on our conscience that I told this person something I shouldn't have about somebody else or about anything. Like, I didn't lie to the person. I didn't do this wrong thing. Like, no, I was me. that's the end of the story.
And that's also what I love about our channel and all that. And it's just like I like that we are willing to, because most people are, like, a lot of people, I won't say most, but some people are not willing to put in that change and willing to be wrong. And I think that's what scared me first about this podcast was, what if I'm wrong? And I was like, is that really a bad thing? I'm like, it's not bad to be wrong. It's don't think of it being as
okay to be wrong.
It's okay. Yeah, don't think of as being wrong as a bad thing. Think as being wrong as growth. As a way to change and make yourself better. So I think
you didn't fail. You learned a way that didn't work.
Exactly.
You know, you expanded your mind. This way, the next time that same situation comes up, you can reflect on this situation and go, well, didn't turn out for me the best that time. Probably not going to turn out for me the best this time. Mm-hmm. So let's try a different route, you know?
Absolutely.
Shit like that.
I would definitely say that. And, but Unus Annus is one of those things that I'm so happy. I'm sad that I waited so long. I'm mad I didn't get the merch, but I'm happy I got to experience it.
Yeah.
Very happy I got to experience it.
Yeah.
So, I still watch Mark and Crank, but in the end, I'm always thinking about, man, I really miss Unus Annus. Like,
you know, they like, you know, Mark does like the snack review stuff, and I'm like, I wish Ethan was there with him.
Yeah, like, I really miss Ethan.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, I miss the two of them together.
Me too.
Like, I think together they make a better team than they do as two separate individuals.
I also agree with that.
Cause you know, Mark does his horror game thing, and Ethan does like his weird game thing, but it's like, I want the two of them together. Like, I want them to play off of each other and have fun, and do this thing where it's like, you know, I don't know. I just think the content could be better.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think we're at time.
We are?
I think so, right? No?
No, we got like another 20 minutes.
Oh, shit. My clock is wrong then.
But yeah, no, it's just, honestly, I think going back to being wrong, is what got me really scared of doing like this podcast and doing YouTube and doing streaming, because I'm scared of saying something and being completely and utterly wrong or offending somebody. But talking about it with you and actually putting a perspective on it has really opened my eyes to, and doing the podcast and doing the streamings and doing the videos has really been like, wow, I've been thinking way too hard about this. And even if I am wrong, even if I do piss people off, even if I do go into this whole thing, I'm willing to learn from it, and I'm willing to put my best foot forward about it. And I think I'm mature enough. I think I am well versed enough to be okay if I'm wrong. So I'm very okay now. It was bad before because the anxiety was like tremendous, but I'm better now, and I look forward to doing this more. So
right, and I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, you're never gonna be good, but you can always be better than you were the day before.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, you know, everybody's just like, oh, just be fine, just be okay with this thing. It's like, no, I won't be, because that goes against what I believe in.
Don't tell me what to do.
But I can, it's like, you're not my dad. But like, you can, but you can be better about the way you handle yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you can explain yourself better and clarify things, and, you know, be reasonable about things,
Mhm.
whatever the topic may be.
Mhm.
You know, things like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And who else? Is there anybody else? Um, just to get off this crazy topic of being our best selves and moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I really like YouTube, and I feel like I haven't been open with that with people. I don't know. I think it's no, I do know. I think it's that I'm embarrassed to tell people I really like YouTube. I like YouTube more than I like TV. Like I have like a set group of YouTubers I watch every day or at least once or twice a week, or I look forward to
Yeah.
something they drop at least once or twice a week, more than I do with a TV show. Like, or as if it was a TV show. And I think it's
Well, no, keep going. I'm listening.
I was just saying, I think I'm just embarrassed at the fact that people will go, "Oh, so what are you into right now?" I'm like, "Well, I'm watching the Game Grumps play Danganronpa, and I'm watching Breezy play Danganronpa right now." And they're just like, "Aren't those YouTubers?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just like,
Well,
"Yeah, yeah."
so it was different. Like, I want to say even like a year ago, it was different. Probably like 5 years ago when being a YouTuber was still like a joke career
Mhm.
that some people had, but like now, like you know, people are becoming multi-millionaires from
Mm,
being YouTube creators,
mhm.
and then on top of it, like it's like now that YouTube has switched from short form content to long form,
Mhm.
where you know YouTube videos that used to, I mean, in the way beginning, it was like you run a 2 minute YouTube video, you're golden. You have an hour long YouTube video, nobody's gonna fucking watch.
Mhm.
And then it became 10 minutes was the standard, then
Mhm.
15, and now we're in a world where you know half-hour videos are kind of the standard
Yeah.
for YouTube. So it is a TV show that these people are making. Like
Mhm.
there's no commercials, so it's a full half hour. But like if you cut out some of the fluff that they talk about or whatever, it's like, or like some of the B-roll stuff
Mhm.
that they're
Mhm.
using just to like transition. It's like no, these people are producing TV shows. They're making 22-minute episodes with you know the extra 8 minutes is intro, outro, and filler fluff, or commercials as it would be in real TV.
Mhm.
Like, that's the whole. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of about it. Like, 90% of my time on the internet is spent on YouTube. I watch YouTube more than I do Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, whatever the fuck streaming service you're watching.
Mhm.
YouTube is still my go-to. Like, just because it has such a variety of things. Like it has, you know, you wanna listen to music. Cool, they got that. You wanna watch an episode of some TV show. 90% chance it's on YouTube. Like
Oh.
somebody clipped it together or whatever, or like something. It's there. You wanna watch a movie? They have a shit ton of movies. Like they have everything. It's not Netflix where we're movies and these types of TV shows. Disney Plus where we're only Disney produced things. Hulu where it's, live TV an hour after it airs, and these handful of cartoon and anime stuff. Crunchyroll where it's just anime. Like those things are great, but you know, I want something where I can get a variety. The best bang for my buck.
Mhm.
Cause I mean they're all like we mentioned earlier. I think we did it in the last episode. They're all pretty much the same price. Again, a few dollars here or there, whatever, but they're all within that $10 range.
Mhm.
Like maybe like to make it easier, it's a 5 to 15 range, you know, because I think like Crunchyroll you can do for like $7.99, and Disney Plus was $4.99, and then like Netflix was 11, but I think they're up to like 13 now, like something like that. So on average, $10. That's how much I pay for YouTube Premium.
Mhm.
So that I don't have commercials. I can download exactly what ooh, I really like this song or the music video to this. I can download it and have it offline later when
Mhm.
I'm trapped at some dead zone and I'm like, I wish I had some music. Oh wait, I do, and I don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi for it.
Mhm.
You know, it's like there's no shame in being like, oh, so how'd you spend your weekend? Watching YouTube.
That's
Like,
it. It's just
what
been.
I like honestly, at this point our our so content filled world, like if you tell somebody all you did was watch one streaming service, then it's weird.
Really?
Like well, cuz it's like, well, I watched an episode of this on Netflix, and then I watched this movie on Disney, and then I watched this episode on Hulu, and then this episode, like, because even if you're like it's an hour at a time, it's like, all right, it's an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, and an hour at night, times 3 for the weekend. Like, so now you're at 9 hours. If you watch one thing on every streaming service, there's your 9 hours.
Mhm.
But if you say, it's like, yeah, I watch, like you say, so you say all that. I watched 1 hour of content on each streaming service. People are like, oh, that's not that bad. But you turn around and be like, yeah, I spent 9 hours on YouTube. That's the weird part. It's not the fact that you're watching YouTube. It's the fact that you're spending so much time in one place.
Mhm.
In in our modern world of go 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 go.
Mhm.
Constantly moving on to the next thing. That's why like TikTok is big right now. Cuz it's that short form content on the go. You can sit and scroll TikTok for a half hour and watch 100+ videos.
And could consume so much so quickly.
Exactly. Whereas YouTube used to be like that. Now they're moving into bigger things to, compete with Netflix and Disney and blah, 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 all the other ones.
Okay, and that makes me feel like, again, I have a friend who's very questions me specifically about like things I like, and I was open. I was like, I think you're, other than you, Steven, I think you're the only person where I actively go, I love YouTube. Like YouTube, Netflix, Crunchyroll, like all of these apps, but YouTube is the forefront. Like I watch YouTube every day. So it's
I mean,
really it feels
it's
good.
also a fact of YouTube's been around the longest.
Mhm.
Disney Plus is what, 2 years old, 3 years old?
I think it's pretty young still.
Netflix as a streaming app is only 5, 6.
Mhm.
Like, yes, Netflix was around doing the whole Redbox thing, and you sign up for the subscription, they send you a DVD, blah blah blah. But like, as a streaming platform, it's only been like 5, 6, 7 years, some.
Mhm.
Netflix has been around since YouTube has been around since 2004.
Mhm.
Like, we're
Like
at 16 years, no, 15, 17. Somewhere around that number, 15 to 17 years of YouTube. Like,
mhm.
we're at a point where, like, you've been around the longest. You're the top dog.
Mhm.
Everyone from, my 3, 4 year old niece, however old she is now, to my, hi, sorry, but to my, these 75-year-old people, they're using YouTube. They may
Mhm.
not use, they may not use Netflix and Hulu and all these other ones, but they
They're
know how
going
to
on
use YouTube.
YouTube. Mm-hmm. They
You
know
know,
how to go to YouTube. They know how to watch stuff on YouTube. So,
yeah,
well, that makes me feel a lot better, actually.
yeah. No, listen, you should never be ashamed of what you watch and how you watch it. Like,
And it's crazy because I'm a really big believer in pushing people like that. Like, I want you to love something you love. I want you to love
right,
something you love. I want you to care about something you love. But when it comes to me taking that advice, it's just like, oh,
right,
I'm weird. Like, I'm weird if I
yeah.
like this.
I mean,
It's odd if I like this.
and I mean that just ties back to like human nature. Like people very seldom take their own advice,
Mm-hmm.
and but that's the issue. Like a lot of people can give advice, very few people can take advice.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can at least like listen, don't take everyone's advice because there's a 90% chance they're wrong about shit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can at least take your own advice and go with what your heart wants and what your gut wants and what your head says to do,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be in a good place. You know, you know, you're at a party. This is always the example. You're at a party. There's 2 slices of pizza left. One's really big. One's really small. Which one do you take? You know, most people they'll take the smaller one because they don't want to do that to some. They don't want to be like, oh, I'm not leaving the small one for somebody else. But in their mind, they're like, nah, but I really want that big one because it's banging pizza. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but so it's like, nah, take the big piece. You know, listen, somebody's gonna get mad, but guess what? You're happy with your decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like, well, I wanted the slice, but like, I guess I'll settle. Like, you always settle for the little slice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it's still good pizza, but it's not as much as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's it. It's just like you have to sacrifice.
Yes.
It's the need to sacrifice for your own well-being. And I'm reading this book and it says love shouldn't there should be like small, of course, but it has to be for you. It has to be for you that you're willing to do that. So if you want to take that
Right.
little piece because you want to,
Right. If
not
you're
because
looking
the
at it going
settling.
like, oh, this pizza's really good, but I'm on a diet and I can't have the big piece, then yeah, take the little
Take
pieces.
the little piece.
But
But
if you're like, but if you're in there and like let's say it's like the big piece is easily like triple the little piece, and it's like, well, that guy had 3 slices, that one had 3 slices, I've only had one so far. Take the big fucking piece.
take the big fucking piece, bro.
It's you just got to be okay with whatever the consequences may be, if there even are any. Like, nobody's gonna throw a fight that you took the big piece of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
You know, things like that. But like, you just gotta look at it and go, listen, I'm gonna do what I do, you do what you do, and whatever the consequences, we will burn the bridge when we get to it.
What was
And I
the
and I know that's not the saying, but that's the one I use.
there's a saying my coworker says all the time, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it is great. It's easy. I think it's like it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Something like that.
Yes.
It's something like that.
Yeah, it is better to beg forgiveness than ask permission.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the same principle. It's like, look, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and when it comes time to it, if I'm, when it's time to deal with the consequences, I'll deal with them then. So like, you know, you're gonna, for the whole thing, it's like, well, I went and, I borrowed this person's car. I filled it up with gas, but like I had to get somewhere quick. Like, you know, somebody was in the hospital. I had to steal somebody's car. It's like, sorry, I had to steal your car. Didn't quite have time to go, hey, can I borrow your car? This person's dying. You know,
Exactly.
I know,
Exactly.
and now, like, I'm not condoning stealing a car. I'm just, that's just the first thing that came to my mind. But you know what I mean, like, it's, it's just easier to do some things and worry about what's going to happen later on.
Yeah, exactly. So altogether, ladies and gentlemen, this was not only a learning experience for hopefully the listeners, but for me and for hopefully Steven. But I think Steven's like the person who is just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Big advocate for that.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's like never stop learning.
Yeah, and also never stop
like
learning.
there's always something to learn. Whether you want to know it or not, like at least know enough about it to like get by. Like even if you're against something, you should know enough about it to have a firm belief of why you're against it.
Yeah, you shouldn't just hate something because it's universally hated. Like, why do you hate it?
Exactly. There should be a reasoning. But that is a conversation for another day.
Yes, we are. It has been.
It's been real, it's been fun, and it's been real fun.
Goodbye, everybody, and
Memento Mori.
Memento.
Remember, you will die.
Memento Mori. Live like you're going to die, because you are.
Yeah.